This is a segment of the August 5th, 2014 Port Orange City Council meeting. Here we go.
What happened? If you have any questions of me, I'll try and answer them.
Any questions of Ted?
I do. Ted, I want to address some concerns that have been lingering, particularly about your performance as chair of this board. Last month you failed to give us a report because the minutes were not ready, and you withheld that report to the council without prior knowledge or approval of your board. Your board's met in the last 14 months for long hours, have requested, made many requests and used significant use of staff time, has reviewed multiple audits, budget documents, and honestly I feel like your board has given us little in return. Namely, only 4 recommendations to council have been voted on and passed by your board ever since, in over a year, and since it was established, and I really kind of feel these are paltry results, and I find that somewhat troubling, especially considering the large cost of time and resources used and paid for by the taxpayers. I kind of feel that's a huge waste of real resources, and I expect better from the Audit and Budget Board because there's simply too much talent on that board to have produced so few tangible results under your leadership. Under your leadership, your board is still dysfunctional and seldom agrees on anything. You've shown an abrasive style in running a meeting from time to time, which is not acceptable, especially on a board of volunteers. I need a consensus builder, but your board seldom can achieve consensus on anything. Your board under your leadership is in total disarray. Your board reports to this council have been full of personal commentary and are not often reflective of the views of your board. Some of the information you pass along to us as facts may be called into question. You're supposed to be passing on to council the deliberations of your board and your reports without additional biases. No other board reports that we get have its other members giving supplementary reports to council after its chairperson speaks, sometimes refuting some of the information that what is already received from you. In the past year, you've been warned on a number of occasions about potential violations of Florida government and sunshine laws and statutes. Despite having attended a city-hosted workshop on Florida sunshine laws, it has also come to question whether you retain in your personal possession numerous communications that are to be preserved as public records that should have already been turned over to the city clerk for preservation as such. Ted, as a representative of the city in your capacity of serving on this board, I have no problem with you expressing a dissenting opinion. However, there's a difference between dissent and disparagement, and you are expected not to personally disparage city employees at any level in the process of doing so. You showed a trend of personal attacks on city employees, an example which most recently referring in writing to a current employee as a peg leg, and I honestly believe that you owe this person an apology. There's a difference between policy discourse and disparagement, and your lack of civility at times has made it very difficult for people to have real policy discussions with you about real issues, which we as a city desperately need to have. I consider your conduct at times to be unbecoming of someone who chairs a board for the city, and your behavior as a member of one of our boards is not acceptable to me. Ted, I need people who want to serve the city and address issues, and yes, it is possible to drive issue-oriented conversations without the use of insults and disparaging the character of good people in the process. You could be that type of person if you desired, but some of your actions have shown otherwise. And most recently, you received a warning from the city attorney about your conduct as a member of the city board. I cannot accept any further such poor performance and behavior. You serve at the pleasure of this council, and I therefore wish to return you to your role of being Citizen Noftall by removing you from your position with the city. And at this time, I'd like to motion for the immediate removal of Ted Noftall from the Audit and Budget Board, as well as immediate removal from the seat on the Eastport CRA, because it's time for a fresh start.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
The city ordinance, section 2-126, governs the proposed motion, and I'm just going to read you the sentence that addresses this. A member of the board may be removed from the board by the city council for cause upon written charges and after a public hearing before the city council. So if there is a second, then that would be important to prepare those written charges next. and then schedule this for a public hearing before the city council. And then you would be able to take your vote.
Okay. Is there a second?
Yes.
We have a motion and a second. Let me be real clear. That's as far as we have to go, or does the council vote?
That's as far as you can go tonight in accordance with your procedures. The next step would be to table this motion until such time as the written charges can be prepared and a public hearing scheduled before the city council on those charges. Now, of course, those charges would have to be provided in writing to Mr. Noftall, so he would have an opportunity to know the nature of the charge and opportunity to prepare for the public hearing.
Okay, so, well then, if you have a motion and a second, then what action is required by the balance of this council?
I need you to table that motion pending preparation of the written charges and the scheduling of a public hearing.
So moved.
Second. Now vote on that? Or not vote?
You vote on the motion to table.
To table.
Vote on the motion to the table. Call the roll.
Councilman Ford.
This is a motion to table it.
Table,
yes.
Councilman Bastian.
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Burnett.
Yes.
All right, we'll move forward accordingly.
That's all I have there. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak to this issue? Yes. Or a report from any other board member?